Nurse arrested for abusing nephew with heated laundry iron in Anambra. Federal government launches national single windows project. On the foreign scene, police clashed with protesters in Indonesia over law changes. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome. My name is Chinyere Ikeoreke. Anambra State House of Assembly Committee on Works and Infrastructure has commended Governor Chukwuma Soludo for the ongoing project, construction of Solution Fund City in Awka, highlighting its potentials to boost tourism, improve the state economy, and enhance the quality of lives of residents. The Chairman, House Committee on Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Emmanuel Wanfo, who also represents Orumba South constituency, gave the commendation following the committee's inspection of several major projects currently underway in the state capital, including the Solution Fund City and 10-story five-star hotel in Awka. Emmanuel Chibata has the details.
During the inspection, the committee was given a detailed tour of the construction sites, allowing them to check the materials being used, assess the progress and quality of the work being carried out, which they observed were in conformity to standard. Speaking at the event, Engineer Wanfo stated that the projects are aligned with the governor's vision of transforming Anambra into a modern state that is attractive to both tourists and investors. He noted that the Solution Fund City, once completed, will serve as a major tourism hub, drawing visitors from across Nigeria and beyond, thereby stimulating the economy of the state. The lawmaker emphasized that the Solution Fund City would provide residents with much-needed recreational facilities that will improve the quality of life in the state and create a lively and engaging environment for families and individuals alike.
And actually they are promising to deliver before December this year. And in the Anambra will be surprised that people will be jubilating here by December this year.
Engineer Wanfo pledged that the committee will continue their oversight role to ensure that the projects are completed to the highest standards. On behalf of the company handling the Solution Fund City project, Engineer Chukwuemeka Edmond said the project, which has several features, is at the finishing stage and would be completed at the end of September.
The project is at the finishing stage. As you can see the roof process coming up. You can see the plastering going on. And for the equipment base, you can see we are ready for installations. And we are sure that going by this point, we will finish in the record time.
In Awka, Emmanuel Chibata for ABS News.
Amarachuku Happiness Nzekwe, a 38-year-old nurse, has been arrested for abusing her 13-year-old nephew with a heated laundry iron in Anambra State. The incident that went viral on social media was brought to the attention of the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Anambra State, Mrs. Ify Obinabo, on Sunday, 18th day of August 2024, while the arrest was made the following day. The perpetrator, Mrs. Nzekwe, a native of Ezinifite in Agwata local government area of the state, said that she only disciplined her nephew after he stole from her. According to the perpetrator, the weapon used in inflicting the injury on the victim was a well-heated laundry iron, which after she locked him up at home without any proper medication. Speaking immediately after rescuing the boy, the Women Affairs Commissioner, who was visibly angry over the incident, assured that justice would be gotten for the little boy under Professor Chukwuma Soludo's administration, and when intending offenders to desist forthwith or face the law, as such disastrous act would not be tolerated in the state. As at the time of this report, the suspect has been handed over to the police for further investigation. The immediate past member of that represented Anambra East and West Federal Constituency, Honorable Chinedu Obidigwe, has called for the establishment of at least 30 internally displaced people's camp in Anambra State ahead of the predicted flood in the state. This is coming as the National Meteorological Agency has announced impending flood incident across major states of the Federation that are situated at the coastal region. In Anambra State, 8 local government areas are feared as possible victims of the impending floods, such as Anambra East, Anambra West, Ayamelemu, Oyi, Ogbaru, Ogbete, Ogbaro, Oyi, Ogbaru, 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 Oyi, Ogbaru Onitsha North and South, as well as Awka North Council areas. According to Honorable Bidego, who was the House Committee Chairman on Environment and Ecology, while at the Green Chambers, it is always devastating, to say the least, when the flood comes, and the worst victims are usually women and children, while farmlands are destroyed. He noted that people get so displaced from this or their ancestral home, and school would ultimately be closed during the flood, which is why there is the need for the National Emergency Agency, NEMA, and the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, to start early to put up at least 30 internally displaced people's camp for the victims to have place to stay until the flood recedes. The former federal law maker commend Governor Chukwuma Soludo for the ongoing ultra-modern General Hospital at Enugu Aguleri. President Anambra Mandate for Good Governance, Chief Emmanuel Ogugwo, said that Governor Chukwuma Soludo has done tremendously well, both in human and infrastructural development of the state. Chief Ogugwo, while answering questions from newsmen in Awka, noted that the administration of Governor Chukwuma Soludo has lived up to the expectation in terms of delivering dividends of democracy within 2 years in office. He explained that an Anambra Mandate for Good Governance is committed to supporting and championing the campaign for good governance in Anambra, which the present administration in the state is diligently giving to the residents of the state. The Anambra Mandate for Good Governance National President commended Governor Soludo for his One Youth Two Skill initiative, free antenatal delivery services to mothers and pregnant women, free basic education, and revitalization of the state water scheme, describing them as steps in the right direction. According to Chief Ogugwo, the construction and ongoing construction of over 400 kilometers of roads across the 21 local government areas of the state is a testimony to the governor's promise of building a livable, secure, and prosperous homeland for Indianambra. He therefore urged Indianambra to continue with their support to the Soludo-led administration to enable it to implement its blueprints. When ABS News returns, federal government launches National Window Bridge project. Police clash with protesters over Indonesia law change. Here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Stay with us.
What?
Sonia tomato mix, stand up, Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop? And is it to stop? Dishes come alive with so much taste. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix, stand up,
I'm in love. Oh, with you, of course, my darling.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, you're watching ABS Evening News. The federal government has launched the National Single Window Project to boost Nigeria's trade and economic growth. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Mr. Wale Edu, kicked off the launch of the transformative initiative, which aims to streamline trade processes, reduce bottlenecks, and increase transparency, positioning Nigeria for economic growth. A statement from the Ministry of Finance signed by Mr. Mahmoud Maga, Director, Information and Public Relations, said the NSW project, spearheaded by the Federal Inland Revenue Services and the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, seeks to create a centralized platform where traders can submit and receive information related to import and export procedures. This is expected to significantly reduce the time and costs associated with trade transactions. Mr. Edu noted the importance of NSW project in driving Nigeria's economic development. Mr. Maga said the launch of the NSW project aligns with President Bola Tinubu's broader economic reform agenda. By simplifying trade procedures and reducing bureaucratic hurdles, the government aims to create a more conducive business environment and attract foreign investment. According to the report, as the NSW projects progress, Nigeria can anticipate improved trade efficiency, increased transparency, and a more business-friendly environment, paving the way for sustainable economic growth and development. On the foreign scene, police has clashed with protesters in the Indonesia capital, Jakarta, as tens of thousands of people gathered in protest of the government's attempt to reverse the Constitutional Court ruling. Police also clashed with protesters who gathered in major cities such as Pangkal, Bangu, and Jakarta. The observer said the power struggle between Indonesia parliament, which is dominated by the president's supporters, and the country's constitutional court would bring about a political crisis. According to the report, Indonesia's top court ruled that parties would not need a minimum 20% of representation in their regional assemblies in order to field a candidate, yet within 24 hours. Parliament tabled an emergency measure to revise these changes, a major move which has sparked widespread condemnation and fears of constitutional crisis. A vote at the fast-track legislature, which would reverse part of the court's ruling, was postponed on Thursday because there were no enough members of parliament. As of if passed, it will maintain the status quo, which favors parties in ruling coalition of the outgoing president. In sport, the Super Eagles are expected to resume camp in Uyo on September 1st ahead of the 2025 AFCON qualifier against Benin and Rwanda. A team official who disclosed this to journalists said the backroom staff will be in Uyo from September 1st, and they expected that most players to arrive in good time. The third-time African champions will welcome the Cheetahs of Benin Republic on September 7th, starting at 5 o'clock in the evening at Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo, and fly to another 2026 World Cup qualifying rival Rwanda 3 days later for a second AFCON qualifier. They are currently without a coach, with the Nigerian Football Federation charging to appoint a new handler following Finidi George's exit from the saddle in June. According to the report, the body is currently torn between Swedish coaches Jane Addison and Harvey Renard, with a vast experience in African football, having coached the national team of Zambia, Angola, Ivory Coast, and Morocco. That's the size of our package tonight, but remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at Anambra Broadcasting Service. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Oka. On X at ABS Radio TV. On Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. A recap of the major stories. Anambra State Assembly has commended Governor Soludo for ongoing major projects in Oka. Nurse has been arrested for abusing nephew with heated laundry iron. Federal government has launched national single windows projects. On the foreign scene, we told the police have clashed with protesters over Indonesia law change. Just before we go, let's take this special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Thanks for staying with us. My name is Chinyere Ikeoreke. Good night.